Hey everyone, Shabbymania here and welcome to the fourth night of Shabbymania. Tonight is all about adrenaline. We've got 10 amazing matches set for you, including of course 5 championship matches. Of course, as always, split across the 2 videos. And let's get straight into the night's action then. We are here with... Why is the name bar changed? Okay, that's weird. We're straight in with Ricochet here. We've got a nice little fatal 4-way cruiserweight match for you. Ricochet, Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander and Lio Rush. Nothing for it really, just it's all, well, basically down to ranking points, I suppose. All 4 of these guys would love to get this nice boost in ranking points. Of course, remember, we are offering triple points. Triple points to these matches here at Shabbymania, and Ricochet needs it desperately. As well as saying that, they're all pretty low down, aren't they? Ricochet's got himself back up to 93. He was one of the bottom guys on this roster. He's back up to 93 now. Lio Rush and Cedric Alexander... The only people below those two is the Bushwhackers on 75. Of course, Rush and Alexander both on 80. So if either of those 2 guys don't win this match, which of course one of them's not going to win it, then they'll drop down to joint bottom alongside the Bushwhackers. Wow. And that's where they'll stay, joint bottom. It's a big one then for Rush and Alexander. Rich Swann on 93 as well. So all 4 of these guys really haven't had the best of times so far in this universe mode. They need to pull it out the bag here. And yeah, things are looking iffy for them if they can't pull it out of the bag. There's going to be a real difficult start into WWE 2K18. Of course, we do have both Rich Swann, which means we're going to lose this funky entrance. Both Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander are going to be on the game properly next year. Well, I keep saying next year. It's literally like two weeks away now. 2 weeks, yeah. Literally 2 weeks ago, and Akil keeps saying next year. So yeah, both those guys on the game properly. Lio Rush, of course, in NXT now anyway, so he'll probably get brought into the game pretty quickly, core-wise that is. And as will Ricochet. Ricochet is always one of the first guys created by some of the top core creators because of how good he is, of course, across the indie scene. So yeah, we won't have any problem getting these guys. They'll all be involved in WWE 2K18, no doubt about that. And it's all just down to getting those ranking points together to potentially push on to the next level because at the moment, like I said, they're struggling here on Adrenaline. All 4 guys are lower than what they started on, which is not what you'd expect from these guys. But again, it's probably because a lot of them have been involved in multi-man matches, and of course, when you lose a multi-man match, you still lose your 5 points. So it does drop you quite quickly, and like Rush and Alexander both started on 100. They're both 20 points down on that now. And at least one of them's going to be 25 points down. That's 5 singles matches you've got to win to get yourself back up there. So it's important for them both to real push on. And I feel like we will have a King of the Cruiserweight tournament in 2K18, and that's a good way to get a lot of points up. It's also a good way to lose a lot of points as well, though. So Cedric then making his way to the ring. Yeah, like I said, Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann both in WWE 2K18, so they are not going to be an issue with cause. Which is good. I like it. I like it. Although I'm pretty disappointed with the DLC that will be offered this year. It's decent. Who we're getting is decent, but it's just not enough in my opinion. If you look at last year's and you look at the costs we're paying, it's a bit of a rip-off in my opinion. But I think I will have uploaded a Shabby Talk over the weekend, sort of expressing myself a bit more on my opinion on the whole WWE 2K18 situation. I feel like, yeah, it's a bit not right what they're doing this year. But at the same time, we can't moan too much because they're putting a lot of extra people on the game. But that was what you would expect. A lot of people have been defending them, saying, well, you're paying this much for DLC, but they put a lot more on the game. But that's what you'd expect. You'd expect the whole of today's roster on the game. And there's a few people that I'm really surprised have not made it on there. Like, well, as much as I'm not really bothered about him, James Ellsworth's been on the main roster now for over a goddamn year. He's not made it on there. You've got Andrade Cien Almas. You've got people like Liv Morgan and Aliyah who've been at the work on the female roster on NXT for about a year now as well. So there's a few surprises that didn't quite make it for me. And of course, Brian Pillman and Arn Anderson is just a stupid decision of mine to take them off. But at the same time, they've yeah, that's what you'd expect from a game. Is people keep saying, oh, it's not that bad because you've got to think about how many people are on the game. It's amazing, really. Not really. Look at FIFA. FIFA's got like thousands of players on there. Granted, they don't all look exactly right, but a large chunk of them do. So it's, I don't know, it swings and roundabouts for me. I'm disappointed in what the DLC offers. And I'm disappointed that they've sort of rigged it a bit, haven't they? They know what they're doing. They know that everyone's going to want to get Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre. They know what everyone's going to want to get the Hardys. And they're on separate packs, both at $10 each or £10, whichever way it's going to end up being. So it's just a bit of a shocker for me. We're paying like £2 or £3 per wrestler. Not right in my opinion what 2K and Ukes are doing there, but yeah. Hey ho, we've done it already. I've already paid for it. It's not a problem. I've got the deluxe editions. We get the game 3 or 4 days early. And we get Batista and Rob Van Dam on release day as well. And of course we get Kurt Angle as pre-release. And of course we get some alternative versions of John Cena. Which will be interesting, I suppose, for no one. I just realised that Blake and Murphy are both higher rated than Leo Rush and Alexander. That's the situation we're currently in here. Blake and Murphy didn't even make it onto WWE 2K18. Now that's not a surprise because they both haven't really appeared since the breakup, which is a bit of a shame, really. And I did like having them on there because they were Australian, so it gave me something to work with when it came to the potential World Cup idea. Me and Paige so we keep bounding around but never get around to doing. But then again, we've got TM61 on the game now, and they're both Australian anyway, so we've got that covered, I suppose. The Rich Swann snap suplex on Cedric Alexander. It looks like they've actually gone back to the old style. I think I swallowed the fly. Yeah, I think they've gone back to the old style of Fatal 4-Ways here, where 2 fight on the inside, 2 fight on the outside. And I think that was always the best way they did it. And I think it almost, I don't know if it got patched out or what, but it just stopped doing it all of a sudden. Nice gut wrench there by Cedric Alexander. I'm losing my voice in the middle of match 1. That's no good, is it? Only a 1 count. Nice jawbreaker there on the outside by Ricochet's. Cedric Alexander. Oh, I think he was going to go for a springboard then, but Rich Swann got back up to his knees, and Alexander decided against it. Now Swann does manage to turn it around. Nice manoeuvre there by Ricochet on the outside as well. Some completely demolishing Leo Rush at this point in time. Nice head scissors takedown there by Rich Swann on Cedric Alexander. Oh, Rush back up. Flips back up to his feet and catches Ricochet with a kick to the side of the head. Rich Swann only getting a 2 count on Cedric Alexander. That shows how easy the match can end, because Ricochet and Leo Rush didn't even flinch then. They didn't even have a clue what was going on inside the ring. And that's the issue of a Fatal 4-Ways. You've got to have eyes in the back of your head at all times, because you do not need to be involved in the end of the match for the match to end. We all know that. Just ask some of the people earlier in the week. Some of these other big multi-man matches we've had. Springboard cutter there by Rich Swann. Of course, Rich Swann and Ricochet teamed together in the past in PWG as the Inner City Machine... Was it? No. Yeah, Inner City Machine Guns, wasn't it? They were a cool team, they were. Oh, I'd love to have them back together on... I might even think about doing that, you know, on Odd Octane. Inner City Machine Guns, yeah. Although we do have a lot of tag teams on the go already in 2K18. Nice gut buster there by Cedric, and Cedric's the only man up on his feet if he can finish a Ricochet off, but Ricochet avoiding that now, getting around the back of Cedric Alexander into a tornado reverse DDT. There's the pin, 1, 2, and Swann and Leo Rush have got there as well. This Leo Rush core is so good, isn't it? It looks more real than some of the real people on the game. Ricochet there, Northern Light suplex. Flips it through into a vertical, deadlifts him up. The strength, showing that Ricochet is really a freak of nature, not just agility, strength as well. There's the pin, 2. Oh, and Ricochet almost had it. Ricochet almost had it here. Now remember, this is worth triple points, so normally a Fatal 4-Way is worth 20, but tonight this is worth 60 points. So the winner of this match is going to end up in a much, much better position than what they started this universe mode in. Of course, they're all struggling at the moment. Nice Death Valley driver there by Leo Rush on Rich Swann. And Ricochet just cleaning house here. Couple of big kicks to the side of the head and taking both Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann down, but Leo Rush catching Ricochet with the Russian leg sweep. On Cedric, taking him up. There's the lumberjack. Oh my god, if Cedric can go for the pin here, he's going to get the big win. Oh, but Rich Swann's back up on his feet. And Swann does break it up. I thought Cedric was going to steal it then. Swann now catches Cedric, who's up on the top rope. Looking for a superplex. Super Falcon Arrow. Wow. Dropping Cedric right on his spine. Ricochet now sending Lio Rush to the outside. Rich Swann now. Nice. Getting the old spinning going. Into a head scissors. Rich Swann heads up top. There's the frog splash by Rich Swann. This could be enough. Referee is so slow. 1, 2. Lio Rush has got his back to it. And Rich Swann wins. Wow. Rich Swann gets the victory. Rich Swann gets the 60 ranking points. He's going to go then from 93 up to 153, which is almost going to guarantee him a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship on 2K18. Surely. Surely it will. And that is why it's so important to pick up a victory here in these big, big Shabbymania pay-per-views. This is the equivalent of your WrestleMania win. And it was a real back-and-forth match. I thought Ricochet was going to win it after he hit a couple of those big big boots to the side of the head. Almost like a GTS style situation. He also hit that, of course, the Northern Light suplex rolling through into the vertical suplex. I thought that was going to be enough for the 3 count. It wasn't, only a 2. And there was a big frog splash there by Rich Swann, which does mean then that both Lio Rush and Cedric Alexander are both joint bottom of the Adrenaline rankings alongside the Bushwhackers. That is not a position they ever wanted to be in. Ricochet also loses himself 5 points. He's going to drop to 88, which puts him again down in the bottom 10. Rush, Alexander, Neville and Ricochet are all in the bottom 10 of the Adrenaline rankings. It's been a real tough time for the Cruiserweights here on Adrenaline. It's really been trial by fire. You've either done really well, like the likes of P.T. Williams and Will Ospreay, and Matt Sydal, or you've done really badly, like Lio Rush, Cedric Alexander, Neville, Ricochet. Those guys are going to need a fresh start on 2K18 and really push forward and try and get themselves back in a decent position on the roster. And here is our next match of the evening and our first championship match of the evening as Worldwide Underground. That's right, PJ Black and Johnny Mundo take on the tag team champions here on Adrenaline, Fenix and Drago. And here we go then, first championship match of the night. And you know what that also means? It means the first match where we are going to guarantee members of Adrenaline's roster next year as well. I keep saying. You know what I mean when I keep saying next year. You know what I mean. Right, so first of all, it is going to be Worldwide Underground, Johnny Mundo and PJ Black. Now, both of these guys have been absolutely dominant since joining this roster. They joined beginning of last month, being traded from all over the place. And since then, they've won every single match they've been involved in. Singles matches, tag team matches, even 6-man tag matches. They've won every single one. Which is why we just could not turn them down for this match here at Shabbymania for the tag team championships. Of course, Fenix and Drago as well. 2 men that since they started teaming together have not lost a single match. So this is a match where something's going to have to break. 2 unbeaten tag teams, 2 Goliaths collide in what is a full-on Lucha Underground match, isn't it, really? Worldwide Underground, Johnny Mundo and PJ Black taking on Fenix and Drago of Lucha Underground as well. So it's going to be a nice little blast from the, I would say past, but it's ongoing, isn't it, really? Lucha Underground. They've had some really good matches recently, apparently. I saw on the old Twitter earlier someone saying about how good the match between Killshot and Dante Fox was, so I'll have to give that a watch at some point. And you know a match between Shane Strickland and AR Fox is always going to be good. And here then come your tag team champions. Won the belts away from DIY. Was it the last pay-per-view? Let's have a goosey gander. A goosey gander. It was... Yes, it was DIY. DIY had held the belts since the first pay-per-view this month. Since the first Adrenaline pay-per-view. And then they held the belts for about, was it 1 or 2 pay-per-views before losing them eventually to Fenix and Drago. I think they lost. I think DIY defeated the Briscoe brothers. Remember that? Because then the Briscoe brothers moved on to... Yeah, the Briscoe brothers then moved on to Carnage, didn't they? Yeah, that rings a bell. That rings a bell. So we go, that's the Adrenaline Tag Team Championship that's on the line. Introducing first, PJ Black and Johnny Mundo from Worldwide Underground. Of course, this one also worth a nice chunk of ranking points. The winners of this will get 15 points each, and the tag team itself will get 30 points. And of course, if the team of Johnny Mundo and PJ Black win, they will get extra. I think I brought it down as double. Double points? Maybe double points. Yeah, maybe. Double. Yeah, because only 30 points. Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. So beating the champion here is going to give them double points then. I've got it down as... I've got beating the main event champion gets you 50 points. Beating the Intercontinental Championship gets you 25 points. Beating the tag team champions, I'm going to class it more or less the same. Oh, here we go again. I don't know what to tell you, I really don't. What a game this is, I tell you. It's amazing. It is really amazing, this game, how it can get 12 months after release and still be in such a poor condition. It really is. And thankfully, 2K18, we get that on the 13th of October, which is now 11 days away. And it can't come sooner, I tell you, because if I have to play this game for another 11 days, I think I'm going to turn suicidal, to be honest. This is my 4th attempt at recording this simple tag team match. And I don't know what keeps going wrong with it. It just doesn't seem to want to work properly. I've seen a match that went 25 minutes that was absolutely fantastic that ended in an actual glitch fest on the outside and ended up as a double count out. I've seen a match where it ended after 32 seconds after PJ Black hit a clothesline, and that was it. I'm like, what? Well, that's never happened before, ever. Has anybody ever won the match like that? And then just random skullduggery. It just doesn't work. It just perplexes me how it's still in such a poor condition, because I myself have contacted 2K with videos and I've gone through the correct process of reporting bugs with the game, and they do not give a toss. I reported the fact that the referee doesn't count the American Alpha finisher as a pinfall on multiple occasions, and the response I got was, please try starting your game again. It's just yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that it's in such a poor condition. It makes people wonder. Like, I wonder myself, if 2K18 is not a massive improvement from this, then what the hell am I paying £90 for? That's my only worry, is that I'm paying £90 for a game that's got piss poor DLC. And if it's not... Oh, referee saw it, thank God for that. I weren't going to have another dodgy finish, I tell you. I was not going to have another dodgy finish. Yeah, if it wasn't for getting the game 4 days early, I don't know what the DLC bonus is, in my opinion. Literally, the only two people I want on DLC... Well, I want Aleister Black, I want Drew McIntyre. I want them because they're there, though. And in fairness, they probably could have been on the main game. Because WrestleMania has always been the cutoff. Historically, WrestleMania has always been the cutoff, and all these people, Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre, had re-debuted before WrestleMania, the night before WrestleMania. So I know what they've done. They've looked at it and thought, right, who are the people that are going to earn us the most money from buying DLC? It's the Hardy Boys, and it's Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre. That's what they've done. But yeah, it just makes you wonder why there's so much money involved in it. And that's the problem with computer games getting now in general. There's so much money involved. Like, I've been playing a lot of FIFA 18, and I'm making a point this year of not buying any packs, because last year I bled myself dry buying packs on FIFA. Absolutely bled myself dry. And I'm not doing that again this year. I'm going to do... Thank God for that. Why isn't that Drago moving there? He came in the ring, just stared at the pinfall. Yeah, I'm determined to that, because they just get too expensive, don't they? It's crazy. It's crazy, but enough of me getting salty. Let's hopefully get a good finish on this match. At the moment, PJ Black has dominated Fenix. Fenix has barely had any offense whatsoever. It's really struggling here. I think the momentum that PJ Black and Johnny Mundo have built over the last couple of months since joining this roster has been incredible. They really have taken full control. They've won every single match they've been in. They've probably built up a lot of momentum, which is almost making them unbeatable, which is what we're seeing here today. But then again, so Fenix and Drago, they've won every match they've had as a tag team here on this roster. So their momentum's looking pretty good as well. So Something's going to have to break in this match. At this point in time, it's looking like it's going to be Fenix. Because he has got literally no offense here at all. And if PJ Black hits a 450 here, we're going to see brand new tag team champions. And there it is, the 450 splash. 1, 2, brand new tag team champions. Just as I said, there we go. Worldwide Underground are your new tag team champions. That means we now know the first 4 people joining the Adrenaline roster for WWE 2K18. We're going to have PJ Black, Johnny Mundo, Jack Evans, who's going to be part of our next match, as well as Taya Valkyrie. And as you can see, what is Drago? Why did they just, why? That was like 2 or 3 times that Drago came in the ring and just stood there. He didn't even attempt to get across and break. Oh, I'm going to cry soon. I'm going to cry. We've still got 2 more tag team matches for you later on tonight as well. That's the worrying thing. Both going to be in video number 2, those ones. That is going to be War Machine versus DIY. And also a 6-man tag. Akira Tozawa, Ultimo Dragon, and Vader takes on Kurt Angle and American Alpha. We've got a lot in store for you here this evening. And we've still got 3 more matches for you in this first video. And the next one, like I said, is for the Cruiserweight Championship. Let's have a look. And here is that next match. That's going to be Matt Sydal versus Jack Evans versus, of course, the Cruiserweight Champion, Will Ospreay. And here we go with our second championship match of the evening. And in theory, we will be guaranteeing another, well, not necessarily. There's a 2/3 chance, a 66% chance that we'll be guaranteeing a member of the roster. There's a 33% chance that we'll be guaranteeing somebody who's already guaranteed, of course. Jack Evans is already guaranteed to be on Adrenaline for next year because of the tag team victory in the last match for Worldwide Underground. He is part of that stable. So he now knows that he has a permanent place ready for him in Adrenaline next year. But he'd love to walk into it with some gold as well, wouldn't he? Could you imagine that? Worldwide Underground in full control of Adrenaline. Of course, they won't have the main event championship. That's going to be fought for later on this evening in the main event of the second video, where AJ Styles will defend his championship against Bobby Roode and Kevin Owens. It's pretty cool, isn't it? A triple threat match. But also this video, I've not even mentioned this yet, have I? Coming up after this one is going to be Alexa Bliss defending her women's championship against Paige. And then our main event of video number 1 here is going to be Kazuchika Okada versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Katsuyori Shibata. And I hope I pronounce all those Japanese names correctly. Bit tongue twisted there. Japanese. That sounds racist, but it's not, I promise. And here then comes Matt Sydal. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the most here on this card is actually the match that's going to be in the second part for the Intercontinental Championship. Dalton Castle defends against Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami. That, for me, looks like a stunning match, actually. A real standout. That could really steal the night, I think. I'm definitely saying that definitely the tag team match has not stolen the night in my heart. The tag team match has stolen my lifetime. It's frustrated the head out of me. It really has. Really, I just wanted to punch this game in the face. I really do. I really want to punch it in the face. There you go. Shit happens. We've got through it now. And Matt Sydal, who's also had a very good run since joining this roster. His one's a bit more interesting because, of course, he was part of the Money in the Bank ladder match and everything as well, wasn't he? He's currently, Matt Sydal, on 120 ranking points. Sorry. So if he was to win this, he would be up to 150 ranking points, possibly more because, of course, becoming the champion as well. So he'd be one of the highest rated on the roster. But he's also, if he loses, he'll still be 115. So he's still going to be pretty high up, you know. He's not going to be in a bad situation whatsoever. Ospreay's on 140 and Jack Evans on 113. So everyone on this roster really is in a good position. So there's not a lot for these guys to lose in really. Not a lot for these guys to lose, really. But of course, Will Ospreay's got the biggest thing to lose, and that is the belt currently around his waist. Here we go then, Will Ospreay defending his Cruiserweight Championship. Like I said, Jack Evans already knows he is guaranteed a place on 2K18 as part of the Adrenaline brand. That's what I'm looking at. But of course, that could work in one or two ways. That could make him a little bit less volatile in this match. He might be a bit more confident in his ability. He might know that there's not as much pressure on him because he knows he's already guaranteed a place on that roster. And it might work out well for him there. He might take the pressure off his shoulders and really think about the match a bit better and sort of take his advantages where he can. Or it can make him cocky and he can end up getting caught out. And that is the problem that he might have. It's a real up and down situation there for Jack Evans. We know what Jack Evans is like. There's not many people that are cockier than Jack Evans, is there really? Jack Evans is full of... Oh, I need to submit really dodgy then. Jack Evans is very cocky, not full of cock, as I was about to say there for a second. He's very, very cocky. He's full of cockiness. That's probably the right word to say, isn't it? I'm just going to get away from the whole cock situation here because it's not working very well for me, is it really? Jack Evans, nice. Brainbuster there on Matt Sydal and then taking Will Ospreay down as well. And it looks like at the moment Jack Evans is looking in a pretty good position. Like I said, he's a bit more confident now because he doesn't have to win this match to have himself a place. And that was one of the things, if you're not on the game, then obviously the only way to guarantee yourself a place on the game is to hold a championship. And it's not necessarily a massive problem now because Jack Evans is stalemate to hold a championship. He's guaranteed that position. So he can afford to be a bit more lax in this match. Not that he should be, but he probably will be. Ospreay then up in the middle rope. Nice Fenix splash on that middle rope on Jack Evans as Sydal re-enters the ring. And Ospreay's there waiting for him though. And into a head scissors. Lovely, taking him down. Jack Evans standing, shooting star press on Matt Sydal. Real high flying match this one. 3 real big high flyers actually. Very impressive high flyers. And Ospreay, bit of a taunt here after taking both his opponents down. Don't know why Ospreay went to the outside there. He should concentrate on Matt Sydal really, who was in the ring. A nice tornado DDT by Matt Sydal. And Jack Evans was not paying attention. And I think it could be a worry here for Jack Evans because he's just not paying attention as much as he possibly should be, is he? Matt Sydal getting caught out there, looking to go after Jack Evans, but Will Ospreay catching him from behind with the Saito suplex. Now a standing moonsault. Really got some height on that standing moonsault as well. Matt Sydal with a jawbreaker. Nice. Almost like a roll-up, but slams it in. Almost like a DDT. Oh. I've never seen anyone try and break a camel clutch before with a springboard moonsault, but there you go. That's exactly what Jack Evans just did. Will Ospreay there runs straight into the anus of Jack Evans. Ospreay now taking Matt Sydal up top. What was he looking for? Jack Evans has realised that no matter what happens here, it's good for him because both these guys are going to get damaged. And Jack Evans rolls him through. He's got the pin. 1, 2. Oh, wow. Almost stole that one. That pin, that was that's a pin that Zack Sabre Jr. likes to use. You've seen him use that quite a few times in PWG. He's got some victories with that in the past. I think he used it quite a few times in the CWC as well, didn't he? Jack Evans rolling elbow. Catching Will Ospreay. Evans up top. Nice elbow. Wow. He glitched the hell out of Ospreay, who really sold that elbow drop. Jack Evans able to kick 2 men at once. Now Evans hoisting Matt Sydal up top. Club blow to the back, and now see Will Ospreay doing the same thing as super German suplex by Jack Evans off the middle rope there on Matt Sydal. Ospreay catching him from behind. Side note. Jack Evans flipped out the back of that backdrop, but Will Ospreay caught him again anyway. Looking for that butterfly suplex, taking him down. Sydal's back up. Sydal now into the facebuster on Will Ospreay. Oh, a bit of a hiccup there by me. Sydal just staring down at the grounded Will Ospreay. A boot in the guts. Now looking for that pump handle. Oh, nice. Package. 1, 2. Oh, and Jack Evans just got there in time. The referees are so slow in this game at getting down. Jack Evans, German suplex on Matt Sydal. Now Jack Evans goes back to the pin again on Will Ospreay. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Evans bringing Ospreay up, but Ospreay catching Evans with a right hand in the ribs. Now into the Salida del Sol. Doesn't go for the pin, but heads up top. Does Ospreay have it in him here? The 680 senton. Sydal is staring on the outside, but Ospreay gets the pin. 1, 2. Oh, and Jack Evans kicked out. Wow, how the hell did Jack Evans kick out of that? Ospreay now inverted 450 on Jack Evans as well. And Jack Evans completely no-sells it by getting straight up and acting like nothing happened. As you do. Matt Sydal, rake of the eyes of Jack Evans now catching... Jack Evans caught with a DDT. Jack Evans, big forearm on Will Ospreay now. Take him up into a Falcon Arrow. And there goes Ospreay. Jack Evans heads up top. 680 cent on himself on Matt Sydal. 1, 2. Oh, Matt Sydal kicked out now as well. This is actually a pretty good match. I'm really enjoying this match. I didn't think a match between 3 cruiserweights would be as good as the Ricochet, Ospreay, and Neville match, but this one's definitely up there. Never pinned by Jack Evans. Again, it's only enough for a 2 count. Ospreay slides back in. As Evans with the head scissors on Matt Sydal. Ospreay letting them break it. Knowing there's no risk of losing the match there. Tornado head scissors. Taking Jack Evans down. And a quick roll up there on Matt Sydal. He's got him all tied up in a bow. 2. Oh, it's only a 2. Matt Sydal escapes as Ospreay reversed DDT on Matt Sydal, on Jack Evans even. I knew it was one of them. Standing Spanish fly then by Will Ospreay on Jack Evans. The worst line so ever. That's the complete opposite of Christopher Daniels' finisher maneuver. Jack Evans short, sharp DDT. Slamming Will Ospreay face first into the mat, and then a nice little cartwheel there for you guys who are into cartwheels, you know. Heel kick to the gut. Now Jack Evans sending Ospreay in the ropes. There's a drop kick. Another single leg drop kick. Ducking the clothesline into a neck breaker. Oh, running drop kick there by Matt Sydal on Jack Evans, and Evans could be out here. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count. There wasn't a lot behind that by Jack Evans. Kick in the spine by Sydal. Sydal now trying to catch. I think Sydal was potentially thinking about going up top, but now he does. But lovely shooting star press, as you'd expect by Matt Sydal, but Will Ospreay's back up. Matt Sydal, nice. Crunches him up once again. Sydal's got a pin. Jack Evans, who does go for it. Has he left it too long? 1, 2. No, he hasn't left it too long. And Matt Sydal is your brand new Cruiserweight Champion here on Adrenaline. And he also guarantees himself a spot on Adrenaline for WWE 2K18. What a night that was. What a match. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. It's got my life back on the right track now after that horrible tag team match. This one is definitely one that has put me in a good state of mind now. And I feel like this one is going to be edited in for our top match playlist as well, I think. We'll try and fill it up as much as we possibly can. I've still got a few matches laying around that I wanted to put in there. And we'll try and get all those uploaded before WWE 2K18 is released. And before, of course, myself and the Tovmeister get the draft uploaded for you next. We're hoping to get it done, you know, on release night. And then, of course, it'll take me a little bit of time to edit and to get it uploaded. But we're hoping to get it online on that release day, that Friday. I can't promise out, but that's what we're going for. But what a match this was. Yeah, definitely a top level match. And it was a cheeky way of Matt Sydal winning it. He hit the shooting star press on Jack Evans. Then that packaged brainbuster on Will Ospreay. It was enough Jack Evans to keep him down for the 3 count. So then, we now know 5 people that are going to be on the Adrenaline roster for WWE 2K18. We have got Matt Sydal, of course, your Cruiserweight Champion. We have got Johnny Mundo and PJ Black, your current Adrenaline Tag Team Champions. And, of course, Jack Evans alongside them as part of Worldwide Underground. And, of course, Taya Valkyrie as a part of Worldwide Underground as well. Talking of female wrestlers, let's add another one to 2K18. And we're going to add another one because we have the Women's Championship match coming up next. Of course, Alexa Bliss is your current Adrenaline Women's Champion. Can Paige take the belt away from her? There we go. Press the button again because I only pressed it once. There we go. We're in. We are in. Alexa Bliss. One of my favourites. And you know what? I liked her. Of all the women that were in NXT, Alexa Bliss was my favourite. And I couldn't quite put my finger on why, but I think as time's gone on, I think we've all started to realise that Alexa Bliss is probably the most complete wrestler that came out of NXT, from the female roster anyway. The likes of Charlotte, Becky and Sasha and Bayley were all okay in the ring. Some of them very good in the ring, but they didn't have that complete package. Now Alexa, in my mind, has the complete package. She's got the ring chemistry, she's got the storytelling, she's got the work on the mic, and she's got the in-ring ability as well. So for me, Alexa is one of the top female wrestlers there. I think Alexa for me is probably the best female wrestler they have. Paige, in my mind, Paige was a transition in my mind in WWE. Paige came into the main event. Paige came into the main roster even before the rest of the top women were there. So Paige, in my mind, is good, but is Paige the same quality of the female wrestlers they have now? Is Paige the same quality as your Alexa Bliss, your Sasha Banks, your Becky Lynch, your Charlotte, those sort of people? Or is she more in the level of an Emma, Dana Brooke, that sort of middle ground pack that don't seem to get the push, but are always involved? They're always involved, but they never seem to get their own opportunity. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Of course, Paige has been out for quite some time with an injury. She started training again at the Performance Center, so injury hopefully now cleared. And hopefully she can make a return. And the rumour has it she's going to be returning to SmackDown rather than Raw. Although she is drafted to Raw. She's part of the Raw roster. It seems a bit odd, doesn't it, really? But yeah, rumour is she's going to be coming back to SmackDown. Which would probably be pretty good for her because there's a... I still don't think the women's roster on SmackDown is strong enough, in my opinion. It's just not of much depth. Since they took Alexa and Mickie James away and gave them one woman in return, which was Charlotte, and then gave them Tamina Snuka, which is not really a massive boost for SmackDown, is it really? But I think Paige would definitely help them out because it's a bit thin, isn't it, really? You've got Charlotte, you've got Natalya, you've got Naomi. With the Bella that left, I've got no idea which one it is anymore. Nikki Bella? I think she left. So, and of course they lost Alexa Bliss and they lost Mickie James. They've got Tamina Snuka. They brought in Lana as a female wrestler, which I'm still not really sure about. I should imagine Maria Kanellis might have a match or two at some point. So yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one in my opinion. I think it's a little bit... I think they definitely need Paige. Definitely need to bolster that roster up a little bit. And it's probably a good place for her to go because she's not going to get lost. Because I think on Raw, no matter what happens on Raw, it's always going to be focused around Alexa, Sasha and Bayley. Take two. I'm not having a good night tonight, am I really? Another double count out for no apparent reason. We're not having the biggest show of the SWE calendar ending in double count outs. It does me in this match, I tell you. This game. The thing is, the problem is with the count outs is they must have changed the coding since last year. Last year, when the referee got to a 5 count, both people actively tried to get back into the ring. That was their #1 priority. Now, when it gets to a 7 count, the priority is to throw your opponent into the ring, which makes sense on the back of it, but it just doesn't work because there's not enough intelligence in the game to realise there's something blocking the way. So if they're at a corner, they try and take a direct route into the ring, which doesn't work because you keep throwing your opponent into the ring post. You don't ever get them into the ring, so it's a coding error in my opinion. It's something that's not been tested correctly, and it's frustrating because it makes you wonder who's developing this game, and if there's actually anyone developing this game that is a genuine wrestling fan or genuine people who watch wrestling, because there's some real basic errors in there that a normal wrestling fan like us would spot straight away, and we have done. It's frustrating, isn't it? I'm frustrated. Bloody game. I just want to finish this video off and have a bit of a sleep because I'm knackered now. I've been recording this for 2 hours and we're only on the 4th match. Oh, God. I've still got another whole half of this pay-per-view to do after this video as well. Still got another triple threat match after you for this one. But that triple threat match is going to be awesome, and there's no count-out to the triple threat match, which is awesome as well. Okada, Nakamura, Shibata, that is coming for you next. That's going to be some serious strong style going on there. Now, I did some loads of stuff in the last video, and I can't remember what I talked about in the... And that's the last video. In the last match, that I can't remember what I talked about. I think I talked about Paige joining the SmackDown roster and how they need it more because they just haven't got a lot of depth over there, really. And of course, over on SmackDown, they lost Nikki Bella, they lost Alexa Bliss, they lost Mickie James on the draft as well. And for it, they gained Charlotte, they gained Tamina, and they gained Lana, which is not really a fair swap in my opinion. So yeah, with Paige coming back from injury, rumour has it she will be rejoining SmackDown, which is good because it'll bolster that roster out. And it just makes more sense because I think the Raw roster at the moment is sort of... It's stuck at the moment, isn't it? The Raw roster is what it is. A Paige turner there by Paige on Alexa Bliss. Wow, this could be a squash. 1, 2... Oh, I need a 2 count. But there wasn't much in that kick out by Alexa at all, was there? There wasn't much at all in that. And Paige now stalking Alexa once again. Taking Alexa up. Rampage. Wow. 1, 2. Wow. Holy crap, that was quick. And they got another brand new champion. It's Paige. Paige is your new women's champion. Was not expecting that, I must admit. I was expecting Alexa to bomb this one. So Paige is also staying on Adrenaline. So we now know 2 members of the female roster on Adrenaline. Paige and, of course, Taya Valkyrie as well. That's a bit of a shock how quick that match was. To be honest, this is not on fast momentum. This is on slow. All the pay-per-view matches always come through on slow momentum. That's what I do them on. Apart from tag team matches that are on fast, because tag team matches just don't work very well, do they? So I have to do them on fast just to make sure that it works, doesn't it? So yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm surprised by that, you know. Not necessarily the result, but the speed of the result. And I'm sure Taya Valkyrie is backstage now, and I'm sure she'll be wanting an opportunity at that because she's the only person at the moment who's guaranteed a spot on the female roster on Adrenaline. But the female rosters on our roster, the female rosters next year on 2K18 are going to be a lot bigger than this year. They're going to be almost double the size. With me and Peter Toby have got a list of around about 55 to 60 female wrestlers alone that will be joining SWE. And here we go then, our next match and our final match of video number 1. It's going to be Shibata versus Okada versus Nakamura in one hell of a top-class triple threat. And here we go then. This is going to be a cracking match. I can feel it. And at least in this one, we can't have a double count-out. Yay! God, this has been a difficult video. This already is. The problem is that I've started recording it quite late in the day as well because I was recording some FIFA 18, which has taken me a lot longer than what I thought it was going to. But I'm cutting down the FIFA 18 videos now. I've done, obviously, a full week of my Road to Glory on FIFA 18, but we're going to drop it down to a couple of videos a week on the Road to Glory, and then I'm going to try and, when I get ahead of myself, try and start a career mode as well, intermingle that with it as well. So it's going to be a little bit of different stuff going on with FIFA. I feel like I'm going to do a lot more FIFA this year than what I did last year. We started it very late last year as well, but this year I feel like there's going to be more going on. The Road to Glory, without spending any money on packs on the Road to Glory, that's going to work out a lot better. But of course we are going to spend money on things like drafts and so forth, but I'm not buying any packs this year. Which is definitely going to improve it for me, because it means we're not going to end up with the best thing straight away. Which is good. But yeah, I'll start recording this quite late. Let's just say it's past midnight and I've got to get up for work at 6 in the morning, and I've still got to edit this video, which takes about an hour or 2. Oh god. I'm going to need some serious coffee in the morning, I tell you. And here we go then, Shibata part of the Hydra stable. Now, we're not quite sure what's going to happen with Hydra yet on WWE 2K18. Myself and Paige are still a little bit undecided on the situation, how it's all going to pan out and so forth. So we're going to have to cross that bridge when we come to it. We sort of feel like Ultimo would suit a Cruiserweight division better. All the members of the Hydra stable are still going to be on the game. But it's just whether we keep them together as one stable or not. And because, yeah, potentially, I see Shibata on more one of the bigger rosters, on either the likes of Mayhem or Throwdown, whereas I see Ultimo more as a Cruiserweight. We know Akira Tozawa is going to be leaving the stable to join Worldwide, Titus Worldwide, or whatever it's called, Worldwide Brand, or whatever it's called these days. So that one's definitely going to happen, so they're not going to get Akira Tozawa anymore. But I don't feel like we should just drop the stable altogether. I feel like we should keep it, but maybe a new lineup. Obviously with Tatsumi Fujinami still as the leader of the stable. Maybe keep an Ultimo as well. There's some things that we could do. We're going to have a look at it, I suppose. We're going to have to try and find out what the best things to do with the game. Not just for Hydra, but for all the brands as well. And that's the main thing. I want to try and keep it consistent, but at the same time, I want to make sure that everything makes sense for 2K18 as well. As we await the entrance now of the King of Strong Style himself, who will have a chance to actually earn that title properly on 2K18 when we are going to do a King of Strong Style tournament at some point. Once we've got the cores downloaded, we've got the right people we need. It's been pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the King of Strong Style. And of course, the King of the Cruiserweights will be returning. The King of the Deathmatch will be returning. There's going to be a lot of Kings next year. The King of the Deathmatch, the King... I wish they would allow you on 2K18 to create titles as well. And I don't mean titles in championships. I mean titles as in like Sir, or... Not Sir, obviously, but... Like for when somebody comes out to the ring... Like for example, if you win King of the Ring, then you are known as King for a while, aren't you? You're known as King Booker, or King Savage, or the Macho King, whatever he was called. And, yeah, it's just... I would like to be able to do that, because then I could put on there, like, the King of Strong Style and so forth, but I might even... I've considered actually having it as a championship, but not a championship that's defended, if that makes sense. So if you win the King of the Cruiserweights, then you can continuously carry around with you the King of the Cruiserweight Championship until the next time the King of the Cruiserweights tournament is held, when you have to hold that championship back. And it just means that whenever you enter the ring, you will always be known as the King of the Cruiserweights. That will be on your name target, and that will also be what you can show by walking down to the ring with your belt, I suppose. But it's not a belt that would ever be defended on championships, or... I'm not even talking right now. It's not a belt that would ever be defended on pay-per-views or anything like that. It would literally just be given back, almost like a trophy, given back when the next tournament is held. But I don't know, is that a good idea? Do you guys like that idea? So, for example, who was the King of the Cruiserweights? Petey Williams, wasn't it? No. Who won the King of the Cruiserweights this year? Where's my Peter Rook? Was it Kalisto? It was. Kalisto won the King of the Cruiserweights. Well, I didn't really do him very much, did it? So Kalisto won the King of the Cruiserweights. So for the rest of the universe mode, Kalisto would have carried around a Cruiserweights King of the Cruiserweights Championship belt with him, and he would have held that. He would have handed that belt back when we did the next King of the Cruiserweights tournament. So that's an interesting way of looking at it, maybe. I don't know. I like that. But enough of that, let's have a look at the match we've got here for you there. Nakamura, Shibata and Okada. 3 big names from New Japan. And of course in WWE now, I think in case of Nakamura. And it makes you wonder how long Nakamura is going to last in WWE. Because I can see him becoming frustrated. Because I think that he loves the fact that he's in WWE. I think that's a lot of people's dream, to make it to the big time. But when you get there, as we've seen by a lot of wrestlers, when you get there, it's not all it's cracked up to be, is it? Look at Austin Aries. Do you reckon he wanted to leave WWE? I think he did. I think, well, he asked for his release. Of course he wanted to leave WWE, but he's obviously wanted to get WWE to a point where he's signed for NXT. He's moved up to the main roster, and he's obviously just frustrated about how he's being used. And you look at Nakamura, he was constantly main eventing the likes of... oh, Nakamura there, doing really badly. Main eventing the likes of New Japan pay-per-views and putting on some fantastic matches winning championships and really having the world talking about how amazing the wrestler he is. And now he's struggling to put on half-decent matches with Jinder Mahal at pay-per-views. And I don't know, I'm just a little bit worried about the whole situation with Nakamura. Because I want to see these people stay in WWE because it's the easiest way for me to watch them. I want the best wrestlers in the world to be in the WWE. Because that's how I can watch them week in, week out. But at the same time, I want them to be used correctly. Because if they're not used correctly, they're going to end up going back from where they came from. And that's what's happened with Austin Aries. We've had 1 year of Austin Aries on this game. And now he's left the company because he just felt like he was being treated like crap, I suppose. And he was. Austin Aries should not be confined to the Cruiserweights. He's done this before. He got stuck in TNA as part of the X Division and showed that he was too good for the X Division and ended up winning the TNA Championship. And that's probably what should have happened in WWE. He probably should have done his Cruiserweight a little bit and then probably get pushed up to the next level. But they probably said to him, like, this is not going to happen. And that's one of the things they were looking to bring Rey Mysterio back for. And Rey probably didn't want to do that himself. You're going to come back, but you're going to be stuck on this crappy little TV show where all the lepers go because we don't want to be with the normal people, 205 Live. And don't get me wrong, I like 205 Live. I like the idea of 205 Live, but it's just not being done correctly, in my opinion. And I think 205 Live... See, I've seen people talk about this before. I think one thing that would make 205 much better is if it was recorded alongside NXT in that little arena. I think that'd be so much better because there's just a much better atmosphere in there. There's much high quality matches. So if they could do that, like record NXT and then record a bulk of 205 Live as well, I think that'd be great because then they could just record that bulk of 205 Live, let that run every week on a certain night of the week, and then the guys could wrestle on Raw and SmackDown as separate. It's just, yeah, I think it'd be better that way because I think the atmosphere in that little place is a lot better than any main event show. And when you stick them on in like SmackDown in front of the casual fans that are just there because their local favourite wrestlers are there, it doesn't work. There's not a lot of atmosphere. That not a lot of people, because they paid to come and see SmackDown, of course, and you get 205 Live free, I suppose. I don't know. I think I'd prefer it to be like that, all recorded from Full Sail University, the same as NXT, and they could probably even share Takeover with NXT, make it a 3-hour pay-per-view, and share it, and then you can have some real top-class matches there. But then again, yeah, looking at it, right, whenever NXT has an event in one of those big arenas, the crowd are still crazy. There's still really, really good crowds, and I think it's just the style of crowd. I think the people that watch NXT are more your die-hard wrestling fans, whereas the people that watch Raw and SmackDown week in, week out are more, especially the ones that go for the shows, are more sort of families and so forth. You just don't get the... You don't really get the atmosphere that you need from that. You really don't. There's a tombstone power driver there by Okada, then straight taken out Shibata as well. This match is massive because, of course, Okada's had a real bad time so far on 2K17. He is currently... Where is he now in the old rankings, Okada? Well, he's got himself back up a bit. Still can't see him. Where is he? Okada... Oh no, he's actually doing a lot better. Okada's up on 120 points. He had a real terrible time. He's up on 120 now. A win here, of course, is worth another 30 points for you. Nakamura is currently on 170, of course, the former Adrenaline champion. Okada's on 120. So win for Okada puts him up to 150. And Shibata is currently on 90 because since he joined the Adrenaline roster at the last pay-per-view, he's had 2 matches and lost them both. Great STO there by Shibata on Okada. Yeah, so Shibata needs to pull this one out of the bag, but he's decided that he's just going to stand here and stare at Nakamura instead because that's obviously a much more vicious way of doing it. So I'm being facetious now, aren't I? I do apologise. A nice octopus stretch there by Shibata on Nakamura, but if he'd gone for it a bit quicker, he might have had an opportunity, but he was just too slow. Now Shibata taking Nakamura up on his shoulders. Oh, wow. A GTS into the knee in the face and then just dislocating the ring rope there with his shoulder. Nakamura got straight back up after that. And then caught Shibata with a knee in the gut and then Shibata got straight back up. This is proper indie wrestling, no selling going on here. Nakamura now sending Okada off the ropes. Oh, running knee strike right in the gut. That was vicious. Bringing Okada up to a kneeling base. And another knee strike right in the side of the face. Pin here by Nakamura. He may have knocked Okada clean out. Only a 2 count. Nakamura bringing Okada back up to a kneeling base. A boot across the chest. And a big knee again in the side of the face. And now Nakamura wrenching back of that arm. And Shibata's there to break it up. Shibata now taking Nakamura up into a brainbuster. Shibata's desperate for this win. This will put him up to 120, which will put him higher than Okada actually, because Okada would lose 5 points for losing this match. Nice reverse back suplex, and as Nakamura was taunting on the ground, Okada dropped straight on top of him, trying to get the victory, and Nakamura had just about enough to kick out of that one. Okada bringing Nakamura back up to his feet. Into the turnbuckle. Shibata catching Okada. Nice suplex. Nakamura's out in the corner here. Nakamura just about gets back up on his feet and then boots Shibata right in the gut, breaking that pin up. Okada drops to the outside. Nakamura, Kinshasa. Kinshasa by Nakamura. There's the pin on Shibata. 1, 2, and 3. And Nakamura picks up the victory in what again was a very good triple threat match. I enjoyed that again. Really did enjoy that. And that is going to mean that Nakamura is now on 200 ranking points. 200! Which actually puts him ahead of AJ Styles. But that depends, of course, on the result later on this evening. If AJ Styles does pick up the victory over Bobby Roode and Kevin Owens, then he'll go even higher than Shinsuke Nakamura. But Nakamura on 200 ranking points is almost got to guarantee him a shot at a championship in 2K18, surely. You'd assume so, wouldn't you? And there was that big, that was a GTS into the knee right across the gut there. And look at this, a lovely suplex here. He's got Okada sort of tied up as well with his arm. But the Kinshasa there was enough to take Shibata out. Of course, Okada was already out after that suplex. And there we go, the 3 count. And the King of Strong Style himself, Shinsuke Nakamura, with the stretch marks in his armpit there, is victorious. And Shinsuke Nakamura is moving on to WWE 2K18 with a hell of a lot of ranking points in the bag. So there we go, guys. That is the end of part number 1 of Shabbymania for Adrenaline. We've got another 5 matches coming for you on part number 2, which will be uploaded in about an hour or so. So be sure to keep an eye out for that one. I do apologise of getting so annoyed in this video, but as I've always said, I want to make sure that I put the best quality content I possibly can for you guys. And it frustrates me when the game decides that is not going to be possible for us to do. So yeah, hopefully, I'm going to have a bit of a rest before we do video number 2. So hopefully, as soon as we get into video number 2, I'll be fresh as a daisy. In video number 2, we're going to start things off with War Machine taking on DIY. We're then going to have a 6-man tag as Akira Tozawa, Ultimo Dragon, and Big Van Vader take on Kurt Angle and American Alpha. We're going to see Dalton Castle defend his Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami. That's the match I'm looking forward to. Adam Cole takes on Roderick Strong one-on-one. And then AJ Styles takes on Bobby Roode and Kevin Owens as he defends his Adrenaline Championship. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you're not already. And I shall see you in about an hour's time for our next episode of Shabbymania Adrenaline. Bye.